I'm going to be sharing with you the top 3 reasons that things are not manifesting with the law of attraction, and I'm going to show you ways of turning that around. When it comes to the law of attraction, manifestation, is that whether we are aware of it or not, we are always getting in life a reflection of what we believe to be true. And part of that has to do with what we are vibrationally resonating with. Now, what quantum physics shows us is that everything in the universe is vibration. Everything is vibrating at a certain frequency. And for us to experience what we want, it has to do with us getting in resonance with the reality we want to experience. Now, the thing is sometimes what we are thinking of and what we are desiring, there may be somewhat of a gap between what we desire, what we want, and what we're actually experiencing. And if we begin to believe that things just aren't happening, sometimes we create a momentum where that is the case. Now, the first part of this process and the first reason that something may not be manifesting is simply because we believe the process is harder than it has to be. So let me ask you a question. What are your beliefs about manifestation in general? Do you believe that things are hard to manifest, that things don't come easily? The reason I say this is because a lot of times when it comes to the law of attraction and learning how to create what we want in our life, we're focused on what we want, but we don't even understand what our beliefs are about the process itself. A lot of times when we let go of outdated beliefs, things will happen easier than ever. Now, here's the truth about what we're experiencing in our life. Whether we are aware of it or not, we are always manifesting something. Manifestation is a natural byproduct of reality, of what we focus on, of how we feel, of our vibration. It's a natural thing that happens. It's not something we have to learn to do. We don't have to try to do it. Manifestation is always happening. It's more so about just becoming aware of what is happening. Becoming aware of what we are already manifesting in our life. Becoming aware of the thoughts, beliefs, and the actions we're taking. Because as we become aware of it, we can then start to, in a way, take inventory of the things that don't serve. I know there have been times when I'm just simply not aware of what I was thinking. And a lot of times it's in the autopilot mind as well. If I could say one thing about where a lot of people are creating from, I'd say that when we wake up from the autopilot mind, we start to create in a much more powerful way. When we're in the autopilot mind, which means we're worried about what other people think, which means we're in the mind that just goes into, it's just the part that it's like default. It's kind of like when you're out somewhere and you're talking to someone else and asking the same old questions, right? Oh, look at the weather today. Oh yeah, how you doing? Living the dream. Ha ha ha. It's the part that is just on autopilot. It's the part that maybe you're driving somewhere and you just completely forget about where you are and you don't even know how you got there. It's not so much that anything happened other than the autopilot mind kicked in. And the autopilot mind will always create what we have always got, because the autopilot mind is nothing more than repetition. So if you find that you're not attracting what you want in your life, it may just mean that the autopilot mind is constantly generating these same feelings, these same thoughts, and the same emotions and actions over and over again, therefore getting the same result. So the key is to wake up from the autopilot mind, to wake up from that subconscious sleep that many people are in. And the way you do that is by trying new things. The way you do that is by going to a new location. The way you do that is by choosing to do it. Now, like I said, when it comes to manifestation process, what are your beliefs about the law of attraction? Now, even if you believe that the law of attraction doesn't work, at the fundamental core, your beliefs create your reality. So you can create the illusion that the reality transurfing isn't working. And the reason that that's an illusion is because you'd be using the law of attraction to prove that the law of attraction doesn't work. Because the law of attraction is about understanding that we always get a reflection of what we are resonating at. Like attracts like. Our frequency is attracting more of it. If we are thinking to ourselves, the law of attraction doesn't work, we will look around and find reasons why the law of attraction doesn't work, which means we're tracking things that are showing it doesn't work using the process itself. But really, it's about understanding our beliefs create our reality. Do you believe that manifestation is hard? Because if so, you can start to understand. That's why I kind of wanted to talk about this, because I could kind of show you that it's happening regardless of whether you think it's hard or not. It's happening regardless. Let it happen more easily. It's not so much about piling on new ideas. It's more so about just letting go of what doesn't serve, letting go of the complications where, law of attraction is hard, things just don't come easily. It can be so much easier if you just let go, if you just allow things to be. And that's what I've learned, I've learned how to let go more and more. I've been making YouTube videos on the law of attraction for about 2 years now. In the beginning, it was mainly kind of like the whole Gary Vaynerchuk, work hard, and I got a lot of results from that in my own life. Work hard, take a lot of action, and it does get results. But the thing is sometimes that causes resistance. Because if we're not taking action and leveraging it with something we're passionate about, it ends up becoming something we create more resistance around. So the key is to also let go at the same time and know that we don't have to do absolutely everything in the process. The second reason that things may not be manifesting is because there's not energy moving in the right direction. Not even the right direction, but there's just not energy moving in general. Now, what I've learned in my own life is that manifestation, and especially living the kind of lifestyle that I live today, that I'm able to do what I love for a living, I'm able to kind of get a house that I love to be in, I'm able to live in abundance like I probably couldn't really imagine 2 or 3 years ago. It's because I put a lot of energy into my manifestation. I put a lot of energy into what I love to do. Now here's the thing, a lot of people aren't putting the energy and the focus into that which they want to experience. They're saying, I want this, and they're acknowledging it once or twice maybe throughout the day, but that's about it. In order for something to really manifest in a powerful way, it requires a lot of focus. Now some things not so much. Not everything is going to require a ton of focus. Some things, if you have no resistance to them, will happen very easily. But I have found that based on the vibration of where I was 2 years ago to where I am today, it required focus for me to get here. Now here's the truth, here's the powerful part of this. Whatever you are passionate about, whatever you are connected to within your heart, it's going to be the easiest thing to focus on. I get up every day, I probably work close to, sometimes up to 12 hours a day or more. But I'm doing what I love, and it's so easy for me to focus on because I wouldn't have it any other way. And because it's easy for me to focus on, it continues to grow more and more and more, and it's just this thing that naturally flows. So the thing is are you doing what you're passionate about? And is what you're wanting to manifest, is that something that's easy for you to focus on because you're naturally passionate about it? I would ask those questions and understand that if you're not achieving what you want, is it because there's not enough energy easily going in that direction? And maybe are you drained of energy in other ways? You know, anytime we really want something, we are also vibrationally saying, I really don't currently have it, because in order to want it, you have to kind of externalize it and say that it's not currently here. But many people will drain themselves of energy of that wanting. Now, sometimes that wanting can move people to take action and to desire and to create this emotion within them to where then they experience the movement of that. But a lot of times people are not creating what they want in their life. They're not manifesting what they want, either because the energy isn't there for it, they're not focusing on it, or it's simply that the energy is not moving in that direction. So either the energy isn't there or it's just not moving. Move the energy with your focus. Move the energy by either taking action. I know sometimes people don't want to hear that. Take action, but action moves the energy. Action puts you in the right place at the right time. Action opens up opportunities. And if you love what you do, the action is something that becomes easy. That's something that will come very natural. But the energy may have to just be moved. It may just have to go in a certain direction. And the way that you do that is by increasing the emotion you have towards it, which means you focus on it more, or taking action and doing something that puts you in the right place. If you want to attract a relationship, and you say, I declare I want to attract a relationship, but you never leave your house, it's not likely that you will be able to meet somebody, maybe unless you're online or something. But the thing is if you put yourself in situations where that can happen, you, in a way, you meet the universe halfway, and then something can happen much more powerfully. But this is why it's about us doing our end of the stick, and then the universe doing the end as well. Meeting in the middle. We can declare it, we can align our emotion and our passion to it, and then take steps in that direction. And it's almost like then the universe will start to push us and guide us, and also at the same time make things happen even faster. But many times the energy just has to be moved. And be aware of also your energy and what's draining you, what's not draining you. Sometimes you're around certain people, they may drain you. If they drain you, then I would recommend you figure out how to best go about that. Maybe it's a little bit less time, maybe it's more time nurturing yourself. If you find that something you're focused on is really draining yourself of energy, take a break. Sometimes I'm doing website stuff and I get resistant in it. I'll have to go outside, walk on grass. I'll have to go do something. I come back to it, things happen even easier. The energy starts to move. So focus equals feeling. The more you focus on something, the more it grows. The more you focus on what you're passionate about, the more you have this potent energy in it, the more powerfully things are happening. So maybe what you are manifesting, what you are wanting to create, isn't something you're really passionate about. If so, then find out what that is, because that will be the thing that manifests very quickly, and move the energy in that direction with your focus, and if you need to, by moving the energy with action. Something I found to be very powerful, and it's something I love to do because I love what I do. Now, the third reason things may not be manifesting is because the ego has an attachment to how things are manifesting. I see this happen a lot, and this has happened with myself. I have a certain vision in my mind. This is how things are going to go. And if we remain attached to that perspective, then many times we will block other opportunities from coming into our life. Even this house, for example, when I saw this house, I originally applied for one other house, and then I looked at another house, and I was trying to decide between the two. And they were more on a different side of town here in Las Vegas. I thought it was going to be in that area. My ego was determined that's going to be in that area. But I just knew that there was something else out there. I knew that there was a house I was going to like even better. And then after like a week of waiting to hear back on the other house, this house popped up on Trulia on a website. I was like, huh. I looked at the pictures. I saw how open it was. I saw how far back everything was. And I was like, man, this house is perfect. I went and saw it, and I knew immediately it was the house. But it's on a little bit different side of town. Still in a good area, but it's different than what I thought. But if I would have remained very stubborn with that other side, I would be at a house that I would not enjoy 30% as much as this house. Like, I love this house so much more than the other two houses for sure. It's exactly what I wanted. It was one story. I wanted a good-sized one-story house rather than a two-story going upstairs. I want it to be very open. I want it to be modern. This has almost like a Zen vibe. There's a pool, grass. It's everything that I want. But if I would have remained very focused on just what my ego thought it wanted, I want to be on that side of town, I would have blocked out all the other opportunities. And this happens for many people. Many times opportunities are already in our life, but we're not aware of them because we block them out. We are thinking, nope, this is how things have to happen. It's like almost we're like, I'm going to create money in my life, and we're just looking for money, just looking for money, just looking for money. When there could be an opportunity that came into our life. It could be somebody that comes up to you and is like, hey, I think you'd be a great person if I introduce you to my friend who's a successful business person, and this is what they do, and this is the kind of business they have, and I think you would enjoy it. Nope, I'm just looking for money. Well, that could have led to money. Maybe they introduce you to this person, and that person sees the potential, and he's like, you know what, I want you to work for me, and I'll pay you $150,000 a year. And before you were making 50, and you were goaling yourself at 100. So you see, it could always be better than what you imagine. But the thing is sometimes our ego steps in. It's like, nope, this is what I'm focused on. Be open. The point to this one is to let go of control. Sometimes it's also that our ego just completely limits us with our potential. What if the best case scenario for the ego, the ceiling to the ego is the floor to the higher mind? So the higher mind's like, hey, I was going to give you, we were going to work something out to where you manifested $300,000 a year. But you're so focused on this 150 thing in your mind that, okay, that's what we'll cap you off there. But be open. That's why some people will say, think to yourself, whatever your goal is, and more. Like, I intend to create and generate the kind of value that brings people over $300,000 or more worth of value, because then that comes back to you. So this is about understanding the control aspect of the ego and how to let go. I went to a life transformation place in Costa Rica last year, and I'm going back this year as well in a couple months. And when I was there was this message I just kept getting. We did this breath workshop where I was able to move this energy through my body and let go of a lot of stuff that was kind of piled up from childhood. And I let go of it. And when I let go of it, I remember my hands tensed up. You're breathing in for an hour in this certain breathing pattern, and it's increasing the oxygen in your body. It's bringing up a whole bunch of stuff that's been piled inside the heart. And I just felt this tenseness inside of my hands go like this, like almost like a praying mantis. And I went like this, and I just kept thinking, let go. I just remembered, let go, because then it was like I was able to let go of the energy that was stored up inside my body. And as I did that, from that moment on, I felt like things just could be easier. And I remember afterwards, I was talking to one of the practitioners there, the transformational breathwork practitioners. She said that anybody, you can look at someone's breathing pattern and tell their personality. And she said, my breathing pattern had this, almost like this level of, I have to work hard, I have to make things happen, kind of like, and I am somebody that works hard. But she's like, things can be easier than you think. You make things a little bit harder than they have to be. And I can tell because of your breathing pattern. You breathe in all of this air, and you try to take in more than you have to because you believe you have to do everything. You have this armor around your body of you creating this kind of like this momentum. And you can make things easier. You can allow things to be easy. You can let go. And from that moment on, I focused on letting go, not controlling my breath so much. Sometimes small things we do influence other parts of our life. So sometimes my breathing, controlling my breath, is also a level of me controlling my manifestations. So I learned to let go, allow things to happen. Things can be easier. I can just let go. And that's kind of what I've been focused on. And things have been easier than ever because I've also dropped those beliefs that things have to be hard. So that goes into the first one. Remember, the first reason you might not be manifesting what you want is you believe that it has to be hard. Things can be easier than you think if you allow them to be, and knowing that things are already manifesting anyways. Everything in our life is a reflection of what we believe to be true. Secondly, sometimes if we're not experiencing what we want, it may just be that we don't have the energy moving in that direction, or we lack the energy in general. Allow things to be there. Let yourself understand things can be easier, but at the same time, move the energy with your focus, your feeling, and action. And then thirdly, let go. Let go of the control. Allow things to be there. And as you do, you'll raise your vibration and things will happen even easier. Money, love, and success are doing everything they can to get to you, but what we do is we block it from coming into our lives by doing these 3 things. I'm going to show you exactly what to do to bypass them so that you finally start to allow what you want into your life. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 biggest manifestation mistakes that are blocking you from attracting money, love, and success. And the first one has to do with this understanding of our energy in general and the things that we think we want versus whether it's actually in alignment with our soul or in alignment with our passion. Because sometimes what happens is we say to ourselves, I want money, love, success. These are the things I want. However, we think the mode to getting there is sometimes ways that are actually out of alignment with who we really are. And let me give you an example of this. About 5 years ago, I would say, I was intending to learn how to make passive income online. And what I was doing is I saw this YouTuber, he was showing how to make and how to outsource Kindle books, like outsourcing Kindle books, and you hire people to write them and you get ghostwriters and stuff, and then you market them. And he was showing how to do this and how he was making like, I don't know, it was like $8,000 or $10,000 a month doing it. And he taught people how to do that. And I thought it was really cool. I was working my job selling women's shoes at the time. So I was like, okay, let me get inside this and let me see how I can do this. So I bought his course. It was like 60 something dollars, and I started studying it and I started to actually apply it. However, there was a lot of resistance. There was a lot of resistance that came up. And the thing that I realized was that I was doing it for the wrong reasons. It was nothing I was actually passionate about. I wasn't passionate about writing. I wasn't passionate about getting these, people to write books and marketing these certain ideas. I wasn't actually passionate about that. And what happened is I felt a lot of resistance and nothing actually really came from it. After about a month or two of trying to do it, it was a big hassle. I wasn't really making any money from it. And I decided to stop doing that. But now that I look back, I see the actual truth of that. What was actually happening is we all have an energetic field around our body. I was doing something I wasn't passionate about, which was lowering my frequency, and it was something that wasn't a part of my natural passion. Now remember, your higher self and your body, your physical ego, your higher self is always sending you a signal that is showing you whether you're in alignment or not. And when you're feeling passion, you're in alignment with what you're meant to be doing. As I make this video right now, I'm very passionate about it because this is what I love doing. So in the same way, what happens is this is the scale of consciousness right here, just like an example. Maybe you've seen me talk about it in my videos before. But the more you raise your vibration, the easier your manifestation ability is, and the better you feel. Remember, feeling goes into your manifestations. So sometimes what people do is they may be focused on the money. They may be focused on the relationship, instead of focused on the feeling and the passion of knowing that it is in alignment. So let me get this marker right here. So in alignment. So the key to this is the first mistake we make is we're not actually passionate about it. We're not passionate about it. And because we're not actually passionate about it, what ends up happening is it's actually something that lowers our frequency. Plus, in a way, it's something that our higher self is showing us isn't actually in alignment. Like, for example, if I were to be doing that thing that I was doing with the selling Kindle books, I believe maybe it would have taken me on a timeline where it wasn't actually what I was passionate about. It would have kind of veered me off of the timeline that I'm on now to where I eventually started making YouTube videos full time. And sometimes people do this as well. They're like, I want to win the lottery. And if we want to win the lottery, what ends up happening is we think that what we want to win is the lottery, but what we really want is the emotion that comes from the security and the financial freedom of winning the lottery. But the thing is what if from your soul's perspective, you winning the lottery would take you out of your power of you actually creating things from the inside out? Because winning the lottery is kind of like an outside in type thing. So we need to ask ourselves the question, is this relevant for our life, for our purpose, for what we're passionate about? And that's why when I talk about manifestation, I always mention it in the form of make sure it's connected to your heart. So if attracting money, love, and success, if you're trying to attract money based on things that are principles that are out of alignment with you, then you might be coming up with blocks. You might think you just want a certain dollar amount, or you might think you just want a person because this person may make me feel better. But what if that person that you're trying to attract is actually going to treat you in a very negative way? Or what if it'll be a very sour relationship, or it'll actually deter you from your purpose of you accomplishing your dreams? When I was going through and starting to become more well-known on YouTube and really going for my passion, I realized that maybe being single during that time was necessary for me to really get my momentum going. So that's something that really makes a difference, is first off understanding your passion and whether it's really in alignment with what you're meant to be doing and with your soul in general. Now, the second thing that may be blocking you from money, love, and success, the mistake you may make with manifestation, is believing that it is all about thinking rather than also feeling and acting on whatever you want to create in your life. Now, I remember when I was first getting on YouTube, and just also working my 9-to-5 job that I wasn't passionate about. People look at me now and they say, wow, Aaron's got a lot of willpower. Aaron's able to like make a lot of videos on YouTube and all this stuff. And the truth is, I used to be somebody that was manifesting really by kind of just sitting on the couch, to be honest with you. I was like thinking about what I want, and I would sit here and I'd be like, oh, I really want this in my life, and I really want that, and perfect relationship, and doing what I love full time, one day being able to speak like some of the people I look up to. That's what I want to do one day. And I remember I was thinking that, and I would go into work every day, and just nothing was really happening. There were a couple synchronicities. One of the synchronicities is I met Jack Canfield. If you guys don't know him, he was in the book. He's like the author of the Chicken Noodle Soup for the Soul books, and he was also in the movie The Secret. I met him at work synchronistically. He came up to me to buy something for his wife, but there was no one in the department he needed to buy clothes in, so he came to the shoe department to get rung up. And then I talked to him and stuff, and he was really cool, and I told him one day I'm going to do what you do. So it's kind of funny because now I do kind of what he does for a living, you know what I mean? But there were some synchronicities there, but nothing actually really happened. But then what I did is I had I kept hearing people talk about taking massive action. And at the time, that's probably what I needed to hear, but I wasn't really doing it. I'd hear it and I kind of feel resistant about it. Like, take massive action. It sounds hard. What about law of attraction? Like, you should be able to just make it easy where you don't have to really take action. You just think it, or believe it, you could just think it. But a big change for me was what I did is I ended up going to, I was at my house walking around, and I just had this feeling, if you make a video a day, every single day, or for a year, your life will completely transform. So I committed to that. And within a short period of time, my channel went from 3,000 subscribers all the way up to over 100,000 subs. And then 4 months later, I quit my job, and I've been doing it full time ever since. And it's been amazing. And that happened, though, from me moving out of just thinking that it was about thinking with the law of attraction, or thinking about my goals or money, love, and success, to actually lining that up with also feeling and acting, being that version of me, taking massive action. So it's a huge mistake I see a lot of people make. And sometimes for this too, it's what do you need to hear in the moment? Like right now, I'm at a place to where I'm actually taking less action than usual, because I've been realizing that for 3 years I've been taking massive action. And now I need to actually go more within so that I can creatively come up with new things, so that I could also start doing my live events and stuff like that. Like, I'm having to redirect my own energy. That's what I need to hear now. But my guess is that maybe there's many of you that were like me a couple years ago, and you hearing take massive action. I promise you, do one thing every day that brings you closer to your goals, and that by doing it every single day, you're going to be able to experience more of it in your life, and it compounds over time, that eventually that becomes something that you can do in your life. So the second one right here, I'm going to go and write it down real quick. One sec. Okay, here it is. Thinking, right there, just thinking. The top one is not actually passion. It's not actually in alignment with the soul. And the third one has to do with something I've been talking a lot about on the channel recently. However, I'm going to share it with you where it's really practical, and that is understanding that anytime we chase something, we immediately put it outside of us, but also understanding that it's also assuming that those emotions don't already exist within inside of us. So for example, we have our energetic body right here, and what we do is we say, when I accomplish the money, love, and success, then I'll feel happy, and we externalize it, and we're always chasing it. It's like we got a stick on a string, and we're chasing that money, love, and success, but we're never going to catch it because we got the stick that's too long. Instead of chasing it, what if you just felt the emotions on the inside of money, love, and success? What if you felt gratitude for what you have now? And by feeling those emotions on the inside, then the outside begins to change. And remember, life is like a mirror. It's reflecting back what we feel on the inside. So if I go over to the mirror and I'm like looking for it and chasing the mirror, it's like chasing the mirror. And if I chase the mirror, I'm always going for something that's external from me. But remember, the mirror of reality is just a reflection anyways. So if you change the inside, which doesn't mean that you necessarily, it means that you learn how to respond instead of react. That's the biggest change. Respond instead of react. If you respond, then you're coming at it from a level of awareness, and if you react, you're coming at it from the level of the survival mode. So the key to this is knowing that if we're chasing anything, if you're chasing a person, I really want you, then it's saying, I really don't have you. I really don't have you, and I really need you, which means I'm not complete without you, which is sending a subconscious symbol to yourself that you're not good enough already. So the key to this is understanding that vibrational resonance. In a way, it's like a radio station. If you have a radio station that's at 92.7, which is the frequency of love, let's say that was the frequency of love, and you want to experience more love in your life, you have to first off resonate and be at that radio frequency. Then you can perceive of what else is on that channel, which may be your soulmate coming up to you, you meeting certain types of people, business opportunities, whatever it is. But you must first off be resonating at that frequency. And anytime you're chasing money, love, or success, you're not at that frequency. It's like you're at 87.2 trying to perceive of 92.7. So the key to this is that awareness of feeling it within inside now, giving yourself permission now to feel that love, giving yourself permission now to really get to that state, knowing that as you do, that then really things begin to change. And one of the biggest things too is learning how to live in the end reality. Live in the end reality. That's a concept by Naval Goddard. But imagine the perfect version of you, how you would think, feel, act, the kind of books you would read. That version of you, and live in it. Feel as if that is you now. That feeling on the inside will then change the outer mirror. The key to manifesting money in 2020 is to actually not focus on the money at all. That's the old way of going about it. That's the old paradigm. And in this video, I'm going to show you a much more powerful way and what you must do to attract money in 2020 and beyond. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the manifesting money paradigm, how we go about this in 2020 and beyond, the year 2020 and beyond. And a lot of this has to do with my own observations to how things are now working in the world. There are certain things that are coming to the surface, certain old ways of going about things that simply aren't working anymore. And it's very obvious that there's a shift in energy. Some people would call this 5D manifestation or something like that. Understanding higher vibrational mechanics of this, but think about it anyways. When people want to manifest money, why do they want the money? They want the money for the things that the money can get them. And the thing is people have been going straight to the money, not knowing that the source of energy within them, the currency within them, does not need the money to get these actual things. Think about it as well. Money is energy. We are energy. When we are putting good out into the world, when we are doing what we are passionate about, we are then being of service to the world. And what happens is what is called the surplus energy within us. It's called surplus energy, which means energy that goes beyond our own survival mechanism. We need the general energy to have shelter, to eat, to do the day-to-day stuff that stays within what keeps us safe. Anything beyond survival mode, which is when you're doing what you're passionate about, anything beyond that to where it then adds value to other people, it's like your cup is already full so you can then add value to other people, that is where then that surplus energy that you put out then comes back to you. That's the way it actually works. And what happens is when we focus on the money, we're going for a side effect, because money is a side effect of energy. Money is a side effect of energy. So when we go for money, we're going for something that is the side effect of something else. When instead, if we focus on the energy, our own energy, how we feel, and we focus on getting more in flow, we'll see that then things go more our way. Okay, so that's the key to this. It's understanding this dynamic of energy. And the chasing of the money is a 2019 paradigm. It's old. It's outdated. It's like you're one of those people that just got a new car, and then a year later you're like, I need a new car. This one's old. It's just a 2019. But guess what? This isn't even just a 2019. It's like the way time is going and the way the energy is moving, it's like that's a 2014. Okay, I got a 2014 Lexus right now. I'm getting ready to trade it in for a Tesla. That's like me also symbolically trading out my old belief system of how it works for money, focused on numbers, focused on money. Here's what I'm learning about 2020, okay? I'm gonna open up to you guys, all right? I started YouTube back in 2017, 2016, but I started going daily in 2017. You probably heard me tell the story. I've told it many times. So what I did is got hair in my mouth. What I did is I started making videos on the YouTubes. Okay, I started making video on the YouTubes. And I started doing the daily videos. And what eventually happened is the daily action I take got rewarded by growth. I started getting more and more views, more and more people coming into my funnel, more and more people wanting to transform their lives. I started getting a lot of responses from people. People are like, whoa, this changed my life. I feel so good, blah, 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 and all these cool things. And I got rewarded. I was like, yes, yes, this feels amazing. And then what happened is I kept focusing on the YouTube. And on the YouTube, I then proceeded to make daily videos every single day for 3 years in a row. And here I am, 2020, still making daily videos, almost. You may have noticed that now on Saturdays there's no video, because then I make an epic video for Sunday, that's why. But here's what I've realized. It's like an old, outdated belief pattern that I have to continue to make daily videos on YouTube for everything to keep going. And I found that this year, I've been very focused on numbers, statistics. How can I get my channel to the next level? I have this goal as well of not just being known. I think right now, the brand, what I teach, it's like I'm kind of known as a YouTuber. And my goal is to not just be a YouTuber. It's also to be on different things and to travel, be doing events and all this other stuff. However, there's like this almost like safety mechanism box of being on YouTube. I'm like, well, I gotta keep the daily videos going. I gotta keep that momentum going. And I think what I might be actually doing is putting out too much content. Because then you get people that are like, oh, this is similar video from the other day. And it's like, well, I've been making daily videos for 3 years in a row. I'm sorry, I can't come up with new ideas every single day. And the repetitive stuff I think is cool anyways, but that's besides the point. Okay, here's what I've realized though. I've been focused on stats. I've been focused on numbers. How can I grow this? How can I stay here? Instead, what I've realized that 2020 is about, I see this not just on myself, but in other friends, other people that are in different niches, different businesses altogether. I need to not focus on the numbers. Being focused on the stats is kind of like being focused on the money. And realize that the stats, I've always intuitively known this, by the way. My YouTube channel and just growth in general is always a direct reflection of my own inner growth. So if I feel like that's not there, it's because the own inner growth isn't as dynamic. So when it comes to manifesting money in 2020, it is about understanding that it's about not focusing on the money. It's like me making videos focused on the numbers. How many people are going to watch this video? Do you like this video? And then there's like this desperate energy in me really wanting you to like this video. Could you please like this video and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel already? I make daily videos. Please though, for real, could you subscribe if you haven't and like this video? So here's the difference though. The difference is this. Instead of going for that of the money, the numbers, the effects, go for what is in flow. What is in flow for me? Let me share that with you. What's in flow for me is to actually not keep making daily videos. I want to make like different style of videos that take a little bit more effort, that maybe aren't as much. Maybe then I give people time to digest the information. And maybe I get people looking forward to the next videos because I make them so epic. Maybe I do that. And maybe I'm really passionate. I put creative energy into it because there's more flow there. Maybe when I do these live events, I get in such a flow state that that's actually what really gets my juices going. Then I'm stepping out of my own comfort zone of what's been working for 3 years, and I've got all this fresh creative energy. And then the side effect of that is when I go to make videos, I have different energy, and I've been talking to different types of people and doing events to where then I have more information. I see what people are really working with, and I kind of know what other people might be working with as well because I've already worked with people live. Does that make sense? So this is the difference. What is in flow and what is easy and what is fun is the new question, instead of what will make me the most money, where can I get this, where can I get the numbers, all of this stuff, how can I live up to this expectation of how people expect me to be, how can I live up to this expectation of myself? Because I also realize that part of that is my shadow self. Because I have this egotistical mentality of making a daily video a day because I'm known as Aaron Doughty on YouTube and makes daily videos, has a crazy work ethic. And that's how I see myself. And because I see myself like that way, I'm doing everything I can to stay consistent to that way I see myself. It's like a thermometer on the wall. You see a thermometer and it's set to 72 degrees. This house is set to 72 degrees. It's kind of cold compared to my old house, but I don't know, I got used to it. 72 degrees. If I were to have it set to 72 and then open up the window, guess what happened? It's cold out, so it's going to come in, it's going to turn down to 70. The heater thing's going to kick on, it's going to get back to 72. Because it's a cybernetic mechanism. It's set at 72, it will stay at 72. I see myself as a YouTuber, I see myself as a hardcore willpower action type guy. Now my subconscious mind is doing everything it can to keep me there. Everything. But the key is awareness. When you become aware of these things, that's when things change. You want to know what is about 2020? Super important. Super important. High integrity. High integrity in doing things. The whole get rich quick things, they ain't working no more. Okay? When you see people doing that, it's a very short period of time and then they just kind of get, it doesn't support, the energy does not support that anymore. I've seen a lot of ways in the collective consciousness this is coming to the surface. I'm even going within myself and really making sure that everything I do from this point going forward is just very in integrity with just who I am. Just being very, looking at things at a very minute level. And that's the way the energy works. Is what you are doing adding value? And value could be emotion. You could say, Aaron, I'm not a YouTuber that makes content on the spiritual stuff that you talk about. I'm a comedian. Well, guess what? Comedians add value. How do comedians add value? Because they make people laugh. And when people laugh, they feel better. Ha ha, yay, funny person. And they feel better. And that's adding value. That's increasing their state. When I used to have that 9-to-5 job, I don't know if you ever heard me tell a story, but I used to work at Nordstrom's in women's shoes. 9-to-5 job, I'd go in every day. And when I went in, focused on me. How will you add money to my paycheck? Will you help me hit my goal of $4,000 for the day? That would really make me happy. And when I went in with that energy, guess what? Even though, of course, I didn't actually say that. But when I went in, guess what would happen? They would feel that off of me and be like, here's your shoes, you want to buy them? Freaking weirdo. You want to buy those shoes? And they're like, yes, I'll buy them. I'm like, yes, okay, come on, let's go, let me ring you up and make more money. But instead, if I went in all cool, suave, having fun, increasing their state, seeing how can I add value to you, then they would feel that, and then I wouldn't be needy because I'm like, hey, there's an abundance out there. That's also something that's huge. You want a book that'll change your life when it comes to money? Simple book, The Science of Getting Rich by Walter Waddles. Super short book. I read it when I used to work that 9-to-5 job in Nordstrom's and women's shoes. And when I read it, it changed so much for me. There's one part in it. There's a creative mindset versus a competitive mindset. In a creative mindset, what happens is you realize there's an abundance out there. You don't have to compete with your coworkers because if you have the frame that you're in the competitive mind, then you think there's scarcity out there. Oh, I used to do that in my old 9-to-5 job when I was selling women's shoes. I was like, oh, someone over there just got a customer. That could have been my customer. Oh, and then I get into a low state, and then I go out and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of mad about that. I wish I had that customer. It would have been good. Now I'm just standing around doing nothing. And then I keep telling myself a story. I'm standing around doing nothing, and then I'm not able to perceive of people that actually need help because I'm in that state. And my energy's retracting, so people come around me, and I'm like, hey, do you need help? I'm like, do you need help with shoes? And they're like, no, just get away from me. See the energy difference there? But if you're in the creative mindset, you're good either way. If you buy anything or if you don't, it doesn't matter. Because there's always more. If I stay in a positive state and I feel happy, I'm going to perceive of more abundance. Well, guess what? For a long time, even on YouTube, be honest with you guys, I've been making YouTube videos for like 3 years now. I sometimes fall into that competitive mind state because there's other people that may model the content from my videos. I may make videos, not that all my videos are 100% original, but I may come up with certain thumbnails, certain titles, certain messages, and then once I get one that does well, there's like
some people that just remake the same video, and then what happens is I get into this little competitive mindset. I'm like, that was my idea. Like, I feel like I'm an artist and someone's taking my work, and I'm original, but what if people see their video and then see my video and then think I copied them when I was the first one to make it? It gets into this whole competitive ego thing. But what I've realized is there's an abundance of people out there. And if the message is reaching more people, then that's a good thing. If I take it out of my little ego and I'm like, okay, that's a good thing. Well, guess what? The money in 2020 and beyond is all about that. It is about understanding creative mindset, not the competitive mindset. It is about knowing to be in top integrity and understanding your energy and what is flowing. Make it easy. Hard work is the mentality of 2019 and before. I gotta work really, really hard. The energy that's coming in now is much higher vibration. It's more about being in flow. And to realize as well, your energy is currency. Your energy is currency. If you want more currency of moolah, what you gotta do is you gotta increase your own energy. And the way you increase your own energy is you do what you're passionate about. What juices you up? What turns you on? What turns you on? What gets you fired up? When you're in that state, is it contagious? You see, these things I share with you right now are extraordinarily powerful.
This video right here, highly recommend that you watch it because it'll help you with what you learned in this video. Only use these 3 manifestation techniques for good. Why do I say that? Because some people have used these in negative ways. Not me, okay? Maybe, okay, I'll share with you a little bit of example of maybe how I use this, but not in a